Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. In this video we are going to start talking about RowSet. Basically the RowSet is kind of the result set on steroids. The main difference is that the result set, for example, it always maintains a connection with the database. RowSet, there is an option where you can either be connected, where you behave like a result set, or disconnected. The result set cannot be serialized, so you cannot send, for example, the result set over a network. But RowSet is kind of a Java bean. So basically a Java bean that can be serialized, and then you can pass the RowSet, this bean, over the network, for example. And by default, the result set is not scrollable or updatable, but the RowSet is scrollable and updatable. So if you are using a different database here or a different driver, there is a chance that your RowSet may not work. So let's see how we can work with RowSet. It's pretty similar to everything that we have been doing so far. And we are going to start with connected RowSet. That's the JDBC RowSet. First thing, we are going to create a new connection because we are not going to use this connection anymore. We are going to use JDBC RowSet. So basically get JDBC RowSet. And right here, we are going to create a JDBC RowSet through a factory. So RowSet provider, new factory, new, and you have different types of RowSet. In the case of this video will be JDBC RowSet. Now introduce a local variable, and since this is a Java bean, you start setting the values. So for the URL, be careful because it's the URL that's lowercase. And then URL, Ctrl-D, Ctrl-D. This will be for username, and this will be for password. And the same thing here, change to username, and down here you change it to set password. And just return this JDBC RowSet. Now, since things are a little bit messy, let's create another repository and another service. So out insert Java class, producer, repository, RowSet. So basically, we could copy, but let's start at least typing something. It has been some time that since we typed one full method. Public static list producer. Let's use the same find by name we did it before, but this time find by name JDBC RowSet. This is a connected string name. So for the SQL, yeah, I told you I was going to type, but let's at least copy the SQL from the prepared statement. So find by name, prepared statement. This is the one I'm looking for. Okay, now that we have the SQL, we are going to create a list of producer. This will be called producers and will be array list, same way as before. And here is where things are going to get started. Before, we were always creating connection. From the connection, we were getting the statement, either prepared statement, callable statement, or just statement, and then from the statement, a result set. But with JDBC RowSet, basically, you can do everything from here. So connection factory dot get JDBC RowSet, add a catch clause. I would like to change it to E. And here, let's add JDBC RowSet, JDBC RowSet, JRS. Okay, so how can we set the SQL? How can we execute the query? Pretty similar to what we have been doing before. You first have to call the method called set command, passing the SQL, and then to replace the wildcard, same thing as before, set string, and you can copy here, avoid any mistakes we have been doing so far. So 1, 2, 3, S1, 2. And how can we execute? There is only one execute method, and you're going to see that you cannot insert with this JDBcRowSet execute. We're going to see how we can do it in the next video. And then to go over basically JRS, if you notice, it's pretty similar to what we have in the statement. So what we are looking for is the next. Well, we did this before. I can copy to save some time. Basically, just have exactly the same thing, but now on the JDBcRowSet. And then you add to the array list, and at the end you just return these producers. Now let's create another service as well. Producer service row set. You can copy the entire method signature and then close here, and we are going to return the method that we just created. Another connection factory. PSVM, add log4j from lombok, and then producer service row set, find by name row set. Let's call for NHK or manhouse. Manhouse. Introduce local variable, producers, and then you log info producers. So basically, we just created one method, find by name. We have here exactly the same thing as we were doing before, just getting by name with like. We create the objects for each one of the rows. We add to the list, we return the list, and then we have a layer in between. That's the producer service. And we are in the connection factory just calling that producer service. I think I don't have database running, so docker -compose up in the database, and then Control Shift F10. As you can see, it's working exactly like everything else. But as you're going to see, there are some cons about using the JDBC RowSet. But there is one thing, in the way we did now, we cannot update or insert. We can only get data. And let's see in the next video how we can actually update or insert new rows. So I see you in the next video. Bye bye.